Hello everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to Star Technology. Today I think, fingers crossed, maybe we can get an AE2 system up. Well, not a full system by any stretch of the imagination, but we can at least get rid of Tom's simple storage back there, and we can get rid of the headache of having to automatically or manually pull all of the tools we need when we're doing crafting. Like if you're in there trying to do some kind of crafting or something and it involves one of the Greg Tech tools, you know, you've got to reverse search this and then find the tool, then put it in the grid. We've got the AE2 up. We should be able to do that. It should fill it automatically. And yeah, we can get away from this for now. And then we can start building on top of that AE2 system later with easier importing and automation of machines and such as well. So let's just jump on into it. So there last time we were working on Canthal to get our Canthal coil blocks. So we'd make the hot Canthal ingots, then we put them into the chemical bath to cool them down. And then we take those cooled Canthal ingots and put them into the wire mill, make 2x Canthal wires so that we can then combine them with some aluminum foil and liquid copper in an MV assembler to get Canthal coil blocks. So we have this going over here now. And yeah, I'm starved on power, so let's just let that build back up again. Still being too lazy and too much of a rush to push content and get a proper power system set up, but it's kind of working. I just have to, you know, keep an eye on this whenever it starts flashing and turn it off so it doesn't just burn things for no reason. But the way to avoid, you know, grabbing these hot ingots and then running over here to put them into the chemical bath, I just set up a drawer there. So we've got some of this hot silicon here, which I made. Where is it? Let's look at in here. So the hot silicon ingots is 2 recipes. You can use silicon dust. This is a 1-minute craft, but we had tons of this silicon dust lying around from centrifuging clay dust. Where is it? When we were making aluminum earlier. So I had tons of it lying around. There is a better recipe. Where's the clay dust? Now I'm gonna have to go in here. Clay dust. Use on clay dust. Oh, in an electrolyzer. I was on the centrifuge, that's why. So yes, electrolyzing the clay dust gave us the aluminum, and then we had silicon as one of the other byproducts. So I had a ton of this lying around, so I just kind of threw it in there to do that recipe. But the better recipe, time-wise anyways, over here, 12 seconds if you just take silicon dioxide and you combine it with carbon dust. Now you are going to end up with this carbon monoxide byproduct, so you would have to put an output hatch onto this machine, which we haven't needed before, so I don't actually have one on here, but you just have to be aware of that, as well as there's a secondary output there, but it might be worth it for the, you know, reduced power usage on getting these ingots. And then the silicon dioxide dust itself shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, you just centrifuge glass dust, which we made way back when we first started producing glass, right? It's quartz sand, which is just crushed sand plus tiny piles of flint dust to get this, or there's other ways to get it too, right? You can macerate a piece of glass to get glass dust back if you've been using the Glax cheaty method. Anyways, back to the task at hand. So we've got these hot ingots here, and it's going to hurt us if we touch it. But if we... Oh... That's... I hate that. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Placement blocks. Get up on here, crouch and right click, use the carry on mod, carry it on over here. Usually I can get it out of my hands within one tick, just have the unfortunate timing on there to get it all in one. Grab a little bit more water for my chemical bath over here so we can let this go, work away. And let's talk about what we can do. Now that we've got the silicon ingots, we can take those and we can put them into the bender to get the... bender, please. To get the silicon plates. What are we going to do with the silicon plates? That's how we get the printed circuits. Printed circuits do require inscriber presses, though. And these 4 types of inscriber presses are made in a forming press. So this is another machine that we had to make. Now the recipe's not too bad on it, just a couple of pistons and the usual MV type stuff. So we'll take our forming press. Almost running out of space here for machines, but that's fine. And we need Certus quartz crystal plus double star steel plates. Forgot they were double plates, but let's go over those. Should be kind of easy. And then star steel in itself, I thought was going to be pretty complicated, but it's actually not. It's really simple. We just have to take skystone dust, which comes from sieving dust in a flint mesh, and that's the only output there, so there's really, there's only a 25% chance, so you got to do a stack or 2 to get enough to get you going, but that's fine. And then to get the star steel dust, you need an MV alloy smelter, and you combine that with steel ingot, and that gets you star steel ingots. And to get the plates, obviously we put them into bender to get them 1-to-1, and then to get the double plates, we're doing this. We're going to need 4, because we need 1 of each of the kinds of presses. And so the calculation press is with the Certus quartz crystals, which is down this quest path over here, which actually required us to make an autoclave first. And then you run Certus quartz dust, the GregTech stuff that you get through various processes with the Certus quartz, the crushed Certus quartz dust, and then that will grow a crystal. If you use regular water, you only get a 70% chance. Wait, let's look at the recipe here. Yes, we use regular water, it's just a 70% chance, but if you have distilled water in the autoclave plus the Certus quartz dust, you get 100%. But there's the other way to make it, which is in the sifter here. So we got 23 Certus quartz crystal, just doing a little bit of 33 of this purified Certus quartz ore, which is just the crushed Certus quartz in the thermal centrifuge. No. Recipe. Ore washer. That's the one. I couldn't think of it off the top of my head. At any rate, you take your crushed Certus quartz ore, which you get from sifting, put it into the ore washer, then take it out of the ore washer, put it into the sifter, and you can get good amounts of Certus quartz crystal that way. But the quests still need us to make the autoclave, and it might be easier to get more of this in the future. But for right now, that's just what I needed for that there. So the other presses, I'm going to need a diamond, a gold, and a silicon dust. Diamond, I'll put this over here, I guess. Gold. And another one of these silicon dusts. Enable the working over here because we've backed up our power again. So forming press, double plate plus Certus quartz. We'll let that work away over there. Got a good amount of silicon here now. Over, we're on 1, so we can put that in our bender and get some plates there. A nice clogged inventory here before too long. I'll have to dump my inventory at some point before we're finished here. There's that one press. That's all working us towards this quest here, which leads up into the printed circuits quest. Diamond will make our calculation press. All of the plates. I don't think I need more plates, but if we do, we've got them kicking around. Three of the 4, and then now we need to make these printed calculation. Printed silicon, logic circuits, engineering circuits, and calculation circuits. In this pack, these are all done in an alloy smelter. So we're going to take a Certus quartz plate. Oh, can I make an inscriber? There's no recipe for it. No recipe for it. Okay, so we'll have to do it we'll have to get a Certus quartz plate, which we can either compress crushed Certus quartz, or we'll have to make a block of Certus quartz and then put it in the cutter. What did it do with all my other Certus quartz? So 4 Certus quartz will make the block. That goes in. Can be an LV cutter as well. Okay. Cutter is there. I'll just throw that in there. Probably have to make a little bit more than that for right now, but does this require MV tier alloy smelter? It does, it does. So silicon press plus plate. Oh, we need this silicon. was I looking at? What was I looking at a minute ago? I have no idea. Oh, I know what I was looking at. An inscriber. No. A printed calculation needs the Certus quartz plate. So, calculation I put in there already. Engineering, we're going to need a piece of diamond plate. Okay, so we're going to have to crush up a bunch of different things. And the logic is gold plate. Yep. Alright, let me go prepare some of this stuff so you're not watching me just do bland stuff here. Alright, I think we finally got all of those, but I'm going to need a little bit more of this printed silicon, so... put those in there while we're talking about this stuff. That should complete off this section of the quest book. Now we're going to move towards this energy acceptor. Energy acceptor is actually a pretty simple recipe, all things given. So in this pack, 4 star steel plates and then 4 quartz glass and a copper ingot. Quartz glass is Certus quartz dust and glass. Now this Certus quartz dust can be either crushed Certus quartz that we just got, or it could be the Certus quartz dust from GregTech that we got from processing the crushed Certus quartz ore that we looked at earlier there. So now what we are going to have to do to get to a crafting terminal and a glass cables is put together some fluix. So fluix crystal in this pack, there's a few different ways. Like you could get a charger and charge up some of your Certus quartz and then use it in a mixer if you want to automate that a little bit more. But we're just going to do it quick and dirty in this episode here in front of you. So we're just going to put water, redstone, Certus quartz, and nether quartz in a mixer. No heating required, and then we'll get about, because I'm going to use a full bucket of water, we're going to get 8 fluix crystals out of all that. So you can just bring this over here. Put all that stuff in there, let it cook. Have a quick snack while we're waiting. Oh, look at that. Why did you... Why did you form a spout? There. Shouldn't have a spout on there. Silly thing. One. Now we've got our 8 fluix crystals. Excellent, excellent. So we're going to need some of this glass cable, which we just put the wire, the fluix crystal straight into a wire mill. Looks like there's no circuit needed at all. Just LV should be fine. I think I'm going to do 3 of these for now. Have some of that. So this glass cable is going to work like this inventory cable from Tom's and just run from here to there. Next we're going to need the terminal, and of course we want the crafting version. So this crafting recipe, we're going to need a calculation processor. So this is a little bit different than the circuits that we made and the fact that we have to combine printed silicon with a calculation circuit. So calculation circuit and a printed silicon. Then I'm going to need 3 of the logic processors as well to do all of this. So I'm going to get that started while we're working on it. We'll grab our Fluix cable. Oh, I've run out of power over here, so I just disable that until you fill up a little bit again. I've really got to get that power sorted. One of these days, I promise. Alright, there we go. What other things do we need? So a crafting table, which is going to be fairly simple, and then an ME terminal. So you can use the ME terminal in place of the crafting terminal. You're just not going to be able to do any crafting in there. Similar to Tom's, if you don't have the crafting terminal, you're just going to be able to pull things in and out of it. So this requires one of these logic processors that I just made, an illuminated panel, plus a formation core and an annihilation core. Let's go over to where we've got stuff and things. So, crafting table, so that's just out of the way. So the ME terminal, annihilation core. Nether quartz, Fluix dust, and logic processor. Fluix dust, we're just going to have to macerate at any power level some Fluix dust there. So we're going to need 2 of those. That'll take a second or 2, that's fine. Come back here, and then this illuminated panel, doesn't matter which one you pick here, but the one in the middle will have the proper crafting recipe. 3 more of these quartz glass, 2 glowstone dust, redstone dust, iron ingot, and you get 3 out of this, which is pretty standard. But that's just in between there. There we go. Now we should be able to make this formation core. So a Certus quartz crystal, Fluix, and another one of those logic processors, and we get 2 out of that. The annihilation core is another quartz instead of the Certus quartz there. Silly Fluix, it was sitting there and then it got pushed back. There's another thing about Tom's that I'm not going to miss. If you've experienced it, you've experienced it, but I'm not going to explain it here. So we should be able to make this ME terminal now. Bada bing, bada boom. And crafting terminal. Now, the one last thing we're going to need is going to be exactly the same as the way Tom's works down here. We need something that hooks into the colossal chest that talks to it. And in Applied Energistics, that is a storage bus. So storage bus, we're going to need a sticky piston, a regular piston, and an interface. The interface, if you look at this interface, it's just this square interface crafted with itself. And that is 4 star steel plates, another annihilation core, another formation core, and a couple of pieces of glass. So we've already got all of that stuff hanging around. We just turn that into the flat interface that way. Now we've got an ME storage bus. So now that we have all of the stuffs and things, let's clean this up a little bit. No more terminal. No more cable connector. No more cables. Just one last check before we go. Still have not even used 1,000 slots on that machine. Got to shift right click onto that. Start terraforming. I'm gonna need these guys. Yep. Oh, I forgot about power. I forgot to make the energy acceptor. Why did nobody remind me about that? Where are you, energy acceptor? Right there. I'm gonna have to put the toms back together. Haha, a little bit premature. Alright, energy acceptor acquired. Now let's get this back on. Ah, geez, that went in there, did it? My item collector must have grabbed my storage bus, right? So need this guy and oh, and my thing went in there. Oh no! Oh no! All right. That wasn't too bad. Have that there. Energy acceptor can go pretty much anywhere. So let's just attach it to the side here. That should work fine. There we go. We're going to need to give the energy acceptor power, obviously. So let's that. Device online, so it has power now. Now I should just be able to go upstairs. Got all of that stuff back. And wha-bam! What am I looking for here? I want this to be bigger. Does it matter? I don't think it matters. I need it to be bigger. I guess I could make it bigger. Sort by number of items is usually how I do it. And sort order increasing. But yeah. Let's see. Is there something we can make? So for instance, when we're putting together something with a tool, even though this steel wrench was actually in my actual inventory, it still gets pulled into the crafting. So that's going to be a big improvement there. But just wanted to know. Yeah, why this isn't going bigger. Usually you can see it more like akin to what the Toms was looking like. Anyways, that's beside the point. We have achieved digital, not storage. We're not storing things digitally yet, but we can eventually. We can make the disk drives. No, what are they called? Drive, not even disk. So a couple of engineering processors to make an ME drive, and then that's where you'll put these storage cells in there. Now the thing with Applied Energistics and using the storage cells is they have the types. So there's a number of bytes used, but all these have a maximum of 63 types. So that's like, each individual item. So, I could put in a 1K storage, I could put 1,000 string into it, 1,000 and whatever string, or I could have like 63, like one of these, like 63 of these, each of these different items in there. So there's two limitations on the way that the storage works in Applied Energistics. So for now, we're just going to use the Colossal Chest, and then this is one of the big reasons why I made the Colossal Chest way at the beginning instead of just making a whole chest monster down there and using like the Tom's terminal. As long as everything's touching, the Tom's terminal will work fine. But when we upgraded to the AE2 system here, that Colossal Chest will work, whereas the individual chests would not. We would need one of those storage buses for every chest that you wanted to read. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. I feel we have conquered a mountain getting to digital storage here. Just a couple of these quests I think we talked about earlier. I'll need to make these wires so that I can make this centralized power system finally, eventually. So I can stop having to do this shenanigan stuff. Wait. There's no power here because there's no sand left in there. There's another reason. We've got to get that set up. Get another... what's it called? Igneous extruder set up with 2 forge hammers, making my sand over here into, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 of these sieves in order to keep the amount of things. The other thing we could do, I guess, is the kinetic sieve. Although this is a big multi-block thing that we have to make, right? A whole bunch of treated wood stuff. And this will, be able to handle making things for us. So you put in 256 sand, and a minute and a half later you'll get 64 diamonds, or 64 of each of the outputs, right? Which can then power the lapidaries. So it might be worth it to make, but I don't think, because I eliminated my coke oven really, really early, I don't think I've got the treated wood to be able to do that, right? Yeah, I don't think that treated wood's going very far once we get looking at that multi-block. Alright, as I said just a second ago, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. And I have a fancy new terminal there. Oh, I guess we could look at one other thing there. This purple I'm not a huge fan of. Break this to change the color? I don't think so. I thought you could just take dye and change the color on that. I guess I'm wrong. I thought that was a thing, but I guess it's not. know it's a thing in other packs because I've done it, but not this pack. We'll have to stare at this. It's a pinkish purple. I guess it's acceptable. But yeah, enough floundering about. Let's close this one off. I appreciate you all for checking out the episode. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.